Well, hi there, Internet. My name's Court, and one of the big surprises of 2019 was Joker. Yeah, there was a lot of anticipation for it, there was also a lot of controversy surrounding it, and while the film has a fairly respectable 69% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics and 88% audience score, I don't think anybody at Warner Brothers or DC in their wildest dreams were expecting it to make $1 billion worldwide. With a windfall like that, with also Joaquin Phoenix the other night winning Best Actor in a Drama Motion Picture for Joker, and he's probably gonna get Oscar buzz, talk of a sequel was inevitable. But do we need one? Well, that's what I want to talk about. I've put together 3 reasons why I think they should make a sequel, and 3 reasons why I think they shouldn't. Before we get to my reasons, I'll just say I really enjoyed Joker. It didn't make my top 10 of the year. I did give it an honorable mention. I dug the film. I know some people who think it was the best movie of 2019. I know some people who absolutely hated it. For me, it was a very different kind of comic book movie, which was kind of refreshing because as much as I love most of the comic book movies that we get, they're all starting to feel a little bit familiar. This movie did its own thing. I respect that. It looked great. It had a brilliant score, and Joaquin Phoenix was amazing as Arthur Fleck. Having said all that, personally, no, I don't want a Joker sequel. If they make it, I'll watch it, but I would rather them leave well enough alone. It was conceived as a standalone thing, and that would be my preference. Still, there are compelling reasons why Warner Brothers and DC should and should not make a sequel, and I thought this would be a fun video just to get a conversation going. So, let's get to my reasons. My number 1 reason why they should make a sequel, obviously, is money. Yeah, that might sound a little cynical, but this movie grossed over $1 billion worldwide on an estimated $55 million production budget. That's an insane win for the studio that put out Justice League, which really underperformed, Shazam, which underperformed, and for a studio that lost a lot of goodwill from fans with the DCEU. With a return on investment like this, and with some people absolutely loving the film, it would be absurd for Warner Brothers and DC not to push for another. My number 2 reason is it was an Arthur movie, not so much a Joker movie. Love the movie or hate it, it is a fair criticism that we don't really see the Joker, the full Joker, until the end. I'm perfectly okay with it because it's more about the journey than the end result, but it really was kind of more of a Joker Begins. I seem to remember Joaquin Phoenix saying at one point he wanted the film to be titled Arthur, and I think that would have been a more accurate name for the flick, but we never got to see Arthur / the Joker be particularly funny. We never got to see him be a full-on criminal mastermind, and these are a couple of facets that are really important to a lot of interpretations of the character. And maybe a sequel could explore those ideas further. I'm down. And my number 3 reason why they should make a sequel is let Todd Phillips play. One of the biggest criticisms waged against Joker was that it was a carbon copy of Scorsese's Taxi Driver. And as much as I dig both movies, I can't deny that the parallels, both story-wise and visually, are striking. That said, now that the origin is out of the way, what if Phillips can come up with a completely new thing to let the Crown Prince of Crime really do his own thing, outside of the purview of Scorsese? If Phillips is up to the challenge, wants to try something a little different, I say do it. So those are the reasons why I think they should. Now let's talk about the reasons why I think they shouldn't. And the first one, again, is money. Yeah, it's the same reason I suggested they should make a sequel, but let's look at it from another angle. Phillips himself told us all that this movie was conceived as a standalone, as a one-off. And it works in that way. It's a self-contained story. To make a sequel simply because the movie was that financially successful would come across to some people as really cynical. Are they really going to abandon the original vision just because the movie made bank? Particularly now with Shazam and Aquaman getting some goodwill back from the fans? I could see doing this turning a lot of fans off. My number 2 reason why they shouldn't make a sequel is the Batman thing. I didn't have a problem with the movie introducing the Waynes. I was fine with the Joker being in his 40s when Bruce was like 10 because it was presented as an Elseworld story. But having set those characters up, I feel like if you make a sequel, you're gonna have to pay them off in some way. And how would that work? Is the next movie only a few years later and Bruce is fully Batman at like 15? Is it many years later and Bruce is in his 30s, but now the Joker's in his like mid-60s? I don't imagine that'll jive with fans either. Admittedly, a good screenwriter with a better imagination than I could probably figure out a way to make it work. But given that a lot of people hated the inclusion of young Bruce in the first place, this kind of feels like a lose-lose situation to me. And my number 3 and final reason why I don't think they should make a sequel is sequelitis. One of the biggest problems I see in a lot of sequels is that the writers take the sort of characteristics of a character, exaggerate them, and the character becomes a caricature of what they once were. With Heath Ledger's Joker, we didn't really get to know the guy. He just did things. Here, we've seen Arthur's character arc. We've seen him turn into the Joker, and we know exactly why it happened. I don't know if there's anywhere to take the character that won't just come across as the further wacky adventures of the Joker. Again, that's not to say it couldn't work, but it would have to be done with tremendous care. So those are my reasons why I think they should and shouldn't do a Joker sequel, even though they're probably going to anyway. They're not going to listen to me, nor should they. But now I want to know, do you agree with any of my points? Do you disagree with my points? Do you have maybe reasons of your own why you think they should or shouldn't? And do you think they should make a sequel at all? Whatever your thoughts, hit the comments below. Let's discuss. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and give it a share if you really enjoyed it. And hey, why not take a second, do me a favor, click subscribe and ring that bell to subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews, entertainment news, trailer reactions, think pieces like this, all that good stuff. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.